Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Roseville Wrecking Ball. The Roseville Wrecking Ball.
Joshua Shrum. He is a very talented steward, very knowledgeable.
The Rosevillewreckingball. This is one of those podcasts where I listen to every episode. I love what he's putting out there.
The Rosevillewreckingball. Josh Shrum.
Parcels of Knowledge. Does a fantastic job with that podcast.
The Rosevillewreckingball. He is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God. We need Article 8 scholars right now.
Tune into the Parcels of Knowledge podcast while you're on the route. That's the mailman's playbook, brother.
Good morning, and welcome back to Parcels of Knowledge, that podcast dedicated to delivering knowledge to that city letter carrier with your host, the Roseville Wrecking Ball. Today we are at grievance number 80 in the beautiful city of Roseville, Michigan. And today we have a wonderful Wrecking Crew Wednesday. You know what that means? Today we are honoring our Patreon members. If anybody wants to be a member of the Patreon, which makes it so that I can give it back to the community, I'm not taking this as profit. You know, I'm using it to pay for the $14.99 for the podcast. And then I'm going to give free materials to stewards to help stewards out. So I'm going to do giveaways like JCAM giveaways. I've already done a reference card giveaway that ends on March 1st. If you haven't been a part of that, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. There I'm going to poll which person won out of the subscribers. So if you subscribe, you'll be a part of the contest. And 3 people will be lucky winners when I pull those numbers. So, Patreon, if you feel you find value in this podcast, you can be a member of the Wrecking Crew by giving to us monthly, anywhere between $1 and $50, whatever you feel, provides you enough value, however much value you get out of this podcast. And I will recognize you for what you do, because you guys are seriously badass. I think that you guys are the best thing to happen to my channel, because you made it so that we could give back to the community. So without further ado, let's recognize those people contributing to the Patreon. All right, so the Wrecking Crew is as follows: Rick Steiner, E.R., Tom Perry, Philip DeGilio, Christopher Angeloff, Amy Tyvan, Ryan Ackers, Edmund DeVore, and Miziel Guzman. You guys are amazing. I love the fact that you feel like you get enough value out of this podcast, that you feel like that you're able to contribute. Those that don't contribute, don't worry about it. I actually think that you guys are great listeners as well. But I just want to give a moment to give them a shout out for making it so that I have the ability to give back to the community. And pretty soon, Philip DeGilio actually has it already up. We have a website, and he's doing a fantastic job. It's parcelsofknowledge.com. It's under construction. Oh my God, he's doing great. And we're going to have to start paying him for that. And I appreciate the donations. You guys are the best. My Wrecking Crew is badass. And thank you. Thank you for what you do. Now, don't forget to listen to that Anita Guzik interview I just recently did. And upcoming, we also have another interview. Walt Mcgregory, once again, is coming on the 21st to be interviewed for his run for CLC candidacy under Region 6 NBA. We've had Walt on the show before. A lot of my listeners are from Region 6. As always, with Sundays with Shrum, you could submit questions to me, and he's going to answer everything. So this Saturday, you have until this Saturday to submit them questions, and you can give them easy ones, you can give them hard ones, but man, you guys have been, breaking my heart lately.
Emotional damage.
Because lately you guys have been only throwing softballs. I need some good questions. Are you guys up for the challenge? We need to get some good questions. Send the questions in to Rosevillewreckingball@yahoo.com. That will be in the description. Same with the Patreon link. The Patreon link will say, hey, click here to support the channel. And, of course, I appreciate you guys tuning in. But moving on to my main topic. I've been getting a lot of people talking about discipline for SPM scans. Is this something familiar to you guys? Do you think it sounds like something affecting you guys? Because I think it's all over the place right now. And good news for you, I got some information you might want to hear about this. So, lucky for me, I was on the Discord, which is rife with information. You know I love information. And all of a sudden, this guy, he posts a post from a NAPS website, National Association of Postmasters, and holy shit, they have a handbook, or at least a document that documents 37 pages of how to do these SPM scans. So holy fuck. You know me, I love information. Information's sexy. Information will get you what you want. So, as always, I clicked on it, and he's right. It's got a lot of good information. Many of these managers will be a piece of shit, and lucky for you, you can give them the elbow of education. So, with that being said, let's talk about this. All right, so a lot of times, what will happen is management will write you up for skipping a scan or for otherwise forgetting to scan. We need to talk about, first of all, let's not incriminate ourselves, guys. I'm not trying to say be dishonest during the interviews. But one thing we got to keep in mind is if we're not doing anything negligent or inappropriate on purpose, then the fact of the matter is it falls upon a mistake. When management asks you, why did you fail to scan the package? Or why did you fail to scan the SPM scan? Don't give them anything to work with. Tell them you must not have heard it. It must have been a mistake. You were paying attention, because you do. If you're a professional carrier, you pay attention while you carry your route. Make sure you stewards are coaching these carriers on how to navigate the investigative interview, because those questions really do matter a lot. Additionally, we got to talk about M document 1458, because oftentimes management will say that the carrier failed to scan a scan based on GPS data and other electronic data. M document 1458 sets the standard that discipline cannot be based solely on GPS data. That, in combination with the investigative interview, is what they should be charging you with. And if you don't give them anything to work with in the investigative interview, well, then you're not going to get a charge. And if you do, it should be easy to dispute. Because again, a mistake itself does not constitute as a write-up. You have to be particularly negligent, and management has to prove your negligence. And the only way they're going to do that is either A, by being there, or seeing a video or something like that. Maybe you had earphones on and they can say, hey, you didn't hear the scan thing, which the manual that I found actually talks about that. It vibrates. You can talk about how you didn't feel it vibrate either. But regardless, because they got an option for hearing impaired people. But regardless, you have to have negligence on your part or improper conduct, and management has to particularly prove that. Now, let's go into some of the things I found in this handbook. I don't know why I keep calling it a handbook. It's just an informational thing, 37 pages long. It's got a course for management to take or for a carrier to take, and it's got a question and answer. Here's some of the things I found that could help you in your disciplines for lack of SPM scans. All right. So, what should the carrier do if the alert does not trigger until after the carrier delivers the mail? Some management's telling people to backtrack. Some management's using this to say if you don't hit it, you need to you're in trouble, because basically you need to tell the office where there's issues with this GPS stuff. And what it says is the carrier should not backtrack or pull the mail out of the box for sampling. This could result in scanning mail delivered on a previous day, which would provide incorrect data for the delivery measurement. If an alert does not trigger until after the carrier delivered the mail, the carrier should, 1, from the work order screen, initiate the work order by pressing enter. 2, on the sampling screen, press enter. 3, when prompted that the sample is not complete, select 3, already passed address to close the work order. Note, the already passed address option is not available for collection sampling requests. All right, so it also says, why does the MDD sometimes alert after the carrier delivers the mail? For delivery, sampling requests trigger when MDD is within a certain radius of the sampling location. If the delivery location coordinates recorded in the system do not quite match the physical delivery address coordinates, the MDD may trigger at a nearby location instead of triggering at the specific delivery address. What should the carrier do if the work order triggered, but the carrier forgot to do the sampling? If a work order alerted, but the carrier forgot to sample the mail when making delivery, the carrier should not backtrack or pull the mail out of the box for sampling. This could result in scanning mail delivered on a previous day, which would provide incorrect data for the delivery measurement. The carrier should not process the work order. The following day, all unprocessed work orders are cleared and the MDD reset. There you go. So if an alert comes up, management says do not ignore the alert. That's another issue, because very specifically it says, what should the carrier do if it's triggered and the carrier forgot to do the sampling? First of all, this shows that forgetting is natural, because they had the thought process to decide to put this into a Q&A. It doesn't say that the carrier's bad for forgetting. Of course, we all forget things. There's no particular negligence in this case if you forgot. But it does say if you forget, you should not process the work order. So when they tell you, go into the work order and press already passed address, that's inappropriate. Because this is in cases where the work order triggered, the carrier postponed the work order, and then they forgot to do the sampling. In that case, you do not press already passed address, because that would be improper data. Because when you press already passed address, they're going to figure that there's some sort of issue with the GPS location. So if you press that for the other one, they're going to have to move it, and then it's going to create more problems. All right, so what should a carrier do if he or she receives a sample request for an address whose mail is being forwarded or held? All right, carriers should only scan barcodes for mail pieces being delivered to the address of the sampling request on that day. So if the mail is being forwarded, then you just select no pieces to scan to close the work order. All right, so that information, I think, is very good. I'm going to have this posted on the Parcels of Knowledge website as soon as I can get Philip DeGilio to post it. This handbook or manual, or whatever you want to call it. It's the SPM program document. Now, next, I want to talk about, let's see, it also talks about if you receive a sampling request for an address on a pivot, you're going to have to be on that route's status. So take that into consideration, that your data integrity matters more than just in terms of determining the route. Also, it might play a factor into this SPM sampling discipline cases, because management could say, well, the carrier knew that they should have switched and they didn't, so then the sample didn't get performed, because you have to be on that route, it says, in order for the sampling to strike your scanner. Of course, they're going to have to particularly show that you were negligent in terms of not switching. So that's going to be, it says, if a carrier is working a pivoted route, does he or she need to change the route ID in the MDD scanner so the MDD can receive sampling requests? Yes. If a carrier is working on a pivoted delivery route, it is important that the carrier change the route ID in the MDD to match whatever route he or she is currently working on. The MDD only alerts for the route ID entered into the MDD. Therefore, it is important to keep the route ID. I'm not sure if you heard that notification. That's Miziel, good morning, brother. Me and him normally talk around 6 a.m., which is actually exactly the time. Anyway, therefore, it is important to keep the route ID updated to be able to receive delivery sampling requests. So there you go. Also, it says, what should a carrier do if the MDD alerts, but he or she is not ready to process the sampling request? Sometimes they might recommend that you process it early. Don't do this. It says to postpone a sampling request from the work order screen, press escape. So it actually talks about postponing it. And, I think that this is the flavor of the month. They're going to go after it pretty crazy. They have been going after it pretty crazy. This guy from Discord, I don't know your name, but thank you. Thank you. If you're listening, or if your friends are listening, I hope they give you kudos, because you are great. The Discord, Data Arbitration Discord, is an amazing resource. But, today's a short one that pretty much sums it up. I do want to say that this should be posted on my website, which is going to be www.parcelsofknowledge.com. Go there, check it out. Tell Philip DeGilio he did a great job. The only other thing I want to mention for the document is it does talk about things to remember. Scan only mail being delivered for today. Never scan mail remaining in the mailbox from the previous day's delivery. If the MDD triggers after delivery, do not backtrack to complete work orders. If the MDD triggers before the delivery point, do not deviate from your line of travel. Postpone the work order until you arrive at the sampling address. Scan no more than the number of pieces requested. Scan only IBI, IMB, and FICS barcodes. Scan only one barcode per mail piece. And after scanning, deliver or collect the mail pieces as appropriate. Do not hold them out or treat them differently. All right? So one other thing, sometimes you will get mail that is highly delayed, and that's happening a lot with the weather. The weather is clearing up, so you might not have it anymore, but I've had postmasters say to carriers, do not scan the flats. That, again, is inappropriate. Any instruction that is outside of what this thing talks about, this document, that's the SPM program, I would file an Article 3 for improper instructions. Follow instructions. If they tell you to do something different than this program, don't tell them no. You might get in trouble for failure to follow instructions, but follow the instructions, immediately talk to a steward, and surprise, surprise, file the grievance. That is all. Always, always, always file the grievance. That is always the correct answer. So, improper instructions, if they deviate from anything on this document, which I'm going to have posted, hopefully today. I'm not used to this, so we'll see how it goes. If it's not on the Parcels of Knowledge website, we'll get it going on the Parcels of Knowledge Facebook. But either way, once again, to sum it up, Wrecking Crew, you guys are amazing. You are fucking amazing. Badass individuals. If you want to join the Wrecking Crew, go check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. We need questions. Walt Mcgregory, Region 6 candidate for NBA. Submit those questions to me. I need some hardballs, brothers. Hardballs. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. By the way, subscribe to the YouTube. You'll get a gift, potentially. A reference card, like with tax numbers and everything to reference as a steward. It's laminated. It's great. Provided by Branch 828. I'm going to have monthly giveaways, and they will be given to my YouTube subscribers. So go check out my YouTube. Well, I have a new video there with Richie Ray, Brothers and Sisters. And it's only featured on my YouTube right now. He's going to put it on his podcast sooner or later. So hopefully you learned something valuable today. And as always, have a good day.
If these guys are getting educated, we will be in big trouble.
Management's been weighing you down like a bag of wet catalogs, but you don't gotta take it. You strap on the elbow of education, dig it?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Rosevillewreckingball. The Rosevillewreckingball.
The Rosevillewreckingball is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God, we need Article 8 scholars right now. The grievance genius and the Rosevillewreckingball doing amazing work.
Tune into the Parcels of Knowledge podcast while you're on the route. That's the mailman's playbook, brother.